Are you listening? Damn.
Bitcoin is in the same zone as before, relatively the safe zone, but still close to the bottom. So people a bit worry, and we see the decline of the altcoins and see increase in domination of Bitcoin. So let's look at some global picture and check and try to decide to understand whether the things which we see in the charts are real or not. And some, of course, some interesting news or updates on the market. You're watching Crypto Hamster channel. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's start from this news. 0x now available on Coinbase to trade. So it was a lot of rumors about the listing of additional coins in Coinbase, and now finally 0x is there. Also, you remember there was rumors about Cardano and some others, so maybe we'll see some of those there soon. There was some rise in the price of 0x after this, so not that huge though, as I would expect, probably because of the Bitcoin drop. Still not that bad news, so we'll see what will happen. Looking forward to see more coins there. Now about the Bitcoin. So after that drop, basically nothing interesting changed. We are continuing trading this yellow area, which I pointed out before. The thing is, you may actually consider this drop, this rise and this drop, as it's like similar to what happened here, but with a less amplitude. And in principle, maybe, and it's actually would be a good scenario, because it means that this swings became lower and like smaller, and we are about to exit of this continuous oscillation behavior, and we are about to change the trend. So maybe we will see that eventually quite soon. On the global picture of things though, you see this low from August, and actually we can even look at the previous low here in July. Actually, this, if you will eliminate this couple of maybe $50 discrepancy here, so you can look at this low in June, and then this low, and then this low, and then this low. We're actually making higher lows from that point. It's not a bad thing, because previously we had like mixed signals at the bottom, but now we are about to grow those lows, and this is again like changing the trend from the completely bearish to something more to the bullish side. We'll see. So, but still, I would still think, saying all of that, I would still think that this is the situation when we all see the things are getting better and better, and often the price of the asset behaves in a way that goes against of the expectation of the crowd, and when we all expect some smooth rise, or at least no drop to the previous bottoms, this may happen. So against the expectation of most of the people of the crowd. Okay, I'm sorry about the birds here, so loud. So that's the major thing. So let's see. Still looking forward to have this drop before the rise. That's rather positive actually. Second thing which I was going to say, you see, I was already mentioning this before. We had a significant drop in the classic markets like stocks, with basically all over the place. From February, it was the biggest drop. This is actually 1 week performance. Maybe like a couple days ago, it was the same for one day and was worse. Everything was very red. Now it make a little bit rebound. But let's say even looking at the Amazon, you see how huge was that. It's like 20% or something like that, more than 20% in total. So the thing is, why we are considering this in terms of Oh my goodness! I hope that doesn't really um, bother you. So, why we are actually considering this? The point is that, of course, all the markets are connected in general, right? And Bitcoin market, crypto market is connected with the classic markets. So, and the money is flowing from one to another at some point. Not 100% correlation, of course, but still. So there are at least two major opinion on that. First is that when the classic markets are going down, we may see the crypto as a sort of, well, at least at some point, as a safe haven when the money can go to hedge this risky behavior of the classic markets. And maybe it makes sense at some point. But the second thing is, when there are some players in classic markets which are investing in crypto as well already, and when these things are going down, they may try to save themselves from the liquidation or something by covering the losses from the crypto market, so they take money out of the crypto. And in that way, it's actually quite consistent with the behavior of this. Like, you see the drop in February, which was for stocks and for crypto. You see the drop now. You may find this correlation at some point. So there are these two factors, and the combination of those are defining the behavior of crypto as well at some point. And we need to consider that, I guess. So what will happen eventually, it's not true, it's not correct, but it's not 100% clear. But if it will go up, probably I would expect that we will see some more stable behavior in crypto. If it will go down, maybe at some point we will see the drop with crypto as well. But eventually, maybe if crypto will show some fundamental stability, we will see even better performance of crypto than in the first case. Generally, I would say that S&P, for example, is doing not that bad for, let's say, 1 year. Like Facebook, yeah, 10% loss, but Amazon is almost 80% up, and you see Apple 42% up. So it depends basically on the stock, but in general, it's not that bad in terms of the year performance. Maybe I would better save my money in Amazon than Bitcoin for this year. So that's the point. Also, when you consider the Bitcoin and crypto, you see the problem is actually in the demand. And the thing is, like, most of the trading is speculative trading, so there is no practical use so far. There is no enough holders which they like, I will buy Bitcoin and save it until my pension will need to be used, right? Like within 30 years or 20 years or 10 years. Most of the people are speculating. They want like fast money, and that's the problem. And since there is no actual demand in that way, and also institutional investors don't want to start with the market, there is no such demand, then probably it's the time when like we will see the stagnation for a very long time from now. Hopefully not, but it's very possible. So that's it for today, guys. If you liked, please leave a comment and consider subscribe, leave a like. I would like to see you tomorrow already in every daily updates on this channel. Safe trading. Goodbye.